good race car, but you can't. You've just got to be patient. Right along with Tim Beatty. Watch his hands and see if he just kind of holds it in one position. Really, a little bit loose there. You're just going to hold it. You're just going to hold it and try to just go around this racetrack. One circle. Oh, we got a spin.
Beatty in the spin cycle. Whoa, and a big crash as well. Oh, and the leader's involved. Benny Gordon goes around. Looks like he and Shelby Howard may have made contact. Looks like Agnew trying to snake his way through the mess. Agnew's going to take over the lead. Your leader, Benny Gordon, after the fact. It was the 15 going around. Tim Beatty Jr. also involved up on the high side. Jeremy Miller in the 18 car, and I believe that's Dominic Casola. Indeed it is. Casola showing some left front damage, and looks like the entire rear bumper cover of Tim Beatty Jr.'s car is left here on the front straightaway.
Well, we were riding along with Tim Beatty Jr. You saw that his wheel snapped to the right just a little bit, and he was trying to correct the race car, had a little bit, probably got hit by a little bit. Maybe we'll take another look at it and get an idea of what happened as they come up onto the front straightaway. Oh yeah, he got hit in the right rear corner, sending his car around, and the rest of these guys are going to end up in the wall. He comes up, oh!
Nowhere's for Jeremy Miller to go. He takes Dominic Casola into the outside wall with him.
And all the spotters trying to tell him, slow down, slow down. Oh no! Shelby Howard into the back of Benny Gordon. Jeff Agnew trying to pick his way. He's got to be careful not to run over the debris.
Here's another look from Tim Beatty's vantage point. Ooh.
Oh, that was a bad hit. You notice that he had got hit right off the corner, got him sideways. Everybody won. Benny Gordon's down on pit road.
Your race winner from Shenandoah will come down pit road for an unexpected pit stop. They are looking at the left rear of this race car, and you can see the damage on it. It looks like that BF Goodrich G-Force TA radial may have a little damage to it, and they are also looking at the left side of the sheet metal. Now, what they're really concerned about here, guys, is the geometry of the race car. They were prepared to make an adjustment, but they just wanted to eyeball it very quickly and get Benny Gordon right back out.
Scott, it looked like the 20 car of Shelby Howard was trying to make a dive to the inside of Gordon, and Gordon saw the blocked racetrack, and two just got together there.
I don't think that the spotter for the 20 car was right on top of it. Benny Gordon knew he needed to slow down. He could see in front of him. But what's really tough for Shelby Howard is he was looking at Benny Gordon. Couldn't see down the front straightaway just yet, even though the spotter might be telling him, you know what, these guys are still hauling the mail. And it's just very difficult to get them stopped.
Several cars involved, including Casola, Miller, Howard, and Gordon. I would think Shelby Howard concerned with his right front, but also sustaining the most damage was the 15 of Tim Beatty Jr. That Grease Lightning Ford was the car that spun originally, and everyone else swept into it.
Tim Beatty Jr. will be on pit road with bigger problems than what they anticipated. Now, they knew they had some sheet metal tore up at the rear of this race car. They didn't realize that the car was going to handle so poorly. They're going to go up on jack stands, get underneath this thing, and see if they can put the Grease Lightning car back out on the racetrack. Right now, though, it's a long, long, and tough day for Tim Beatty,
as well as a bunch of other competitors that are going to visit pit road, trying to make sure their car's ready to go when we go back green.
On to the second caution of the day here at Kilcare Speedway. Your top five, including Agnew, Rush, Howard, Bailey, and A.J. Frank. The action level has stepped up in a quick hurry here at Kilcare Speedway. Look at some of the action so far this afternoon. Spinning Tim Beatty Jr. trying to hang on and avoid traffic. We're coming right back to Kilcare Speedway with more.
Take that lane as well. Try to use that outside, go around this lap traffic. It is tough out there.
Right behind Gary St. Lamont, we see Derek Cale and that Heritage. Whoa. Jeremy Miller right in front of some traffic, spins, comes to rest in turn two. Third caution of the night being brought out. So used to racing at night, odd to be racing in the afternoon, Scott.
And he was just turning down, trying to get that good run off that back, what we call straightaway. And the car just got a little bit loose. You can go around in a hurry here. You're not wide open throttle, but you're three-quarter throttle.
The wheel and open and close indicator at the inside of turn one here this afternoon, letting the field know that the pits are not open for pit stops as of yet. There's another look at, looks like Jeremy Miller. The car just breaks loose right in the middle of one.
Yeah, he was trying to pull the car down, try to stay off of Eric Corbett on the outside, give him that room.
Jay Frank slides up the racetrack, starting side by side, but Frank tough on the outside.
Well, we're only 57 laps into this race. Let's not get too carried away.
Oh, we got trouble. First right away, Woody Howard in trouble. Woody Howard in that third spot, loops it out of four, and nobody got into it.
Whew.
A lucky Woody Howard pulls away. He was running third. Able to spin on the front straightaway without getting collected by anyone. Caution coming out on lap 58. Last year's Miller Lite Rookie of the Year collected nearly $60,000 in that Miller Lite Rookie of the Year program. Woody Howard brings out the caution. Here's another look at it up off of turn 4.
And that was Woody Howard up on the top trying to hold off Jack Bailey. A battle for third. Cart gets a little bit loose, and it went around in a hurry.
Yeah, that 5th, 6th, and 7th place battle with Shelby Howard. Howard's got to feel like he's got a target on the front of that race car.
Well, you just drive through the smoke. That's how they do it in the movies. That's how you do it here at the racetrack, too.
Well, it's starting to turn into a horror show for Lonnie Rush Jr. His car is slowing over here in turn 1. He was 2nd place, and the car, it doesn't look like the motor's running.
You've got to be kidding me.
The Devers Truck Body 71 machine. He's going to be passed by Travis Miller.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, look out.
Oh.
Man, Travis Miller went to the outside. Woody Howard slid up the racetrack. Eric Corbett and Gary St. Amant involved trying to avoid. No place to go out of 4.
Well, Woody Howard got into the back of the 76 car. 76, just a bump, turns him sideways, and that started a whole chain reaction. Everybody on the brakes, and there's a lot of guys with damage that really weren't involved in the initial contact.
Travis Miller, the rookie out of Virginia, was showing in the top 10, running 9th at the time of this incident. A lot of damage to the front, particularly the left front of that race car.
A little bitty racetrack sure can cause a lot of damage.
And the exit of that corner just funnels you into that straightaway. Let's take another look at it as they run off into the corner.
Woody Howard just a little bit of a tap to the 76 car, and then behind him, St. Amant. The 75, what's L.W. Miller up at the top. He makes contact with the wall. These guys are coming in. Really can't get slowed down. Oh, and more contact at the bottom.
Actually, I think that was Sam Falone, the 48. St. Amant's viewpoint. Absolutely nowhere for Gary St. Amant to go. Wrestled his way through it, but several cars coming to pit road, including Travis Miller.
Travis Miller had just a tremendous amount of confidence coming into this race. He's had some good results so far this year, and now look at the mess they have on the front end of that race car. It is a very small track. I mean, Killcare is a great speedway, but there's not a lot of room, and there's no room for impatience. Eric Corbett just got off pit row, and Travis Miller is not a happy camper.
There's a lot of unhappy campers here today with a lot of tore up sheet metal. You got to figure out how you're going to make your pit stops now. You're watching the weather. I know there's a lot of rain in the area. Stephen, nobody's been hitting pit road.
Yes, pit road is pretty much empty right now. A few cars coming in, but basically we felt a few raindrops just moments ago. So if anybody can avoid coming in right now, that's what they want to do, because 125 laps constitutes an official race. You don't want to give up that track position unless you have to. So pit road's empty.
In fact, the only people coming to pit road was Eric Corbett. That's going to hurt. He was tied with Johnny Rumley for 8-10 points, and also on pit road, and involved Travis Miller, tied for 11th, and that rookie point battle. On board with Shelby Howard, you can see some of the raindrops starting to hit his windshield as we try to work towards at least a halfway here at Killcare Speedway. Well, hit the fridge, grab some chips, and come on back. We'll be back after this.
Tears that off, then you got huge problems.
To make a pit stop very lengthy, and not to say that it wouldn't be a little bit of a disaster for some of the guys behind him as well.
He had a little bit of contact. It's knocked it down. Oh,
Shelby Howard
no.
shutting down at turn 2.
No way.
Leader in trouble. A lot of smoke. Or was that dust? Oh, that's smoke.
Looks like the engine has just gone away in Shelby Howard's race car.
Well, Smoke's car has gone up in smoke with Shelby Howard at the keyboard. Howard dropping down to the inside, headed to pit road. What disappointment. This young man has got to feel like he is just absolutely jinxed. He gets a good run going and something happens.
The Tony Stewart's barbecue sauce car was probably the best race car on the racetrack at the time. And they say they always run the best just before they blow up.
Well, he was 5th in points coming into this race. It looks like he's going to take quite a tumble in the point standings here this afternoon. Stephen Cox is hustling his way over to Shelby Howard's pit.
Shelby Howard had an excellent car in practice. They've got the new Gertie engines in this chassis right now. They have been extremely happy with their performance, and what a huge disappointment. The team does not know what the problem is yet. All they know is that they completely lost power, and boy, they were fighting tooth and nail with the 73 car of Jeff Agnew for the lead of this race. So this is a huge disappointment for a young man who has not had the season that he wanted. I was going to talk with Eddie Kelly just a few moments ago, and all of a sudden he kind of waved me away, and there's a big puff of smoke coming out from this race car, and the team just put their heads in their hands, and this is the disappointment that awaits race car drivers when an engine goes pop at the wrong time or a rear end or anything. So just a huge disappointment for Shelby Howard, who had the car to beat today.
I'll tell you, Gene, if this young man can get that first win under his belt, you're going to see a lot more to follow.
Well, concerns are building, and so are the clouds off in the distance. We'll keep an eye on it. Your top five here at the Naturally Fresh 250 here at Kilcare Speedway. Agnew, Bailey, Gordon, Crabtree, and Woody Howard. Just before 100 laps, Shelby Howard takes the lead, only to have the motor expire. Shelby Howard on pit road. Steven is with him.
Shelby, it looked like you had a fantastic run going, and this is the one that you've honestly deserved all year. What happened? What took it away?
Yeah, you know, we probably should have won this race last year and went a lap down to the pits and had a quick car, and it's looking good for us again this year. I got into Benny earlier when that crash happened, coming off of 4 there. I just didn't see it. Didn't see it happening, and but anyway, I don't know, something in the motor broke there. It's bad. All the guys worked really hard this week to put a new front clip on this car from the last race, and this shame.
2 big disappointments, one in Shenandoah and another today for Shelby Howard.
Boy, with Brian Ross at the keyboard, trying to, big trouble here. Turn 2. See the 18 of Miller, and Woody Howard's involved. Late arrival to the situation up the high side, had Martin Nesbitt down to his inside. I think it pretty much guided Howard directly into Sam Fallone's Puro Vegetable Chevrolet. Jeremy Miller's car used up heavily now on the left-hand side. He had right-hand side damage with the Baney crash back on the second caution, but involved our Miller, Fallone, Woody Howard, and Martin Nesbitt. Martin Nesbitt, second week in a row, swept up into something.
And this thing all happened right in front of the leaders, and we'll have to get a replay in order to really put this thing in perspective of how it happened.
Well, Sam Fallone climbs from the 48 machine. He'll take a look at the front of the race car. Scott, let's take another look at it and see just exactly what happened here.
Well, there was a little bit of contact between Martin Nesbitt and probably Jeremy Miller, and the 48 of Sam Fallone gets into the outside wall right in front of the leaders. Okay, Benny Gordon goes through. Then we see Jeff Agnew, but here comes Woody Howard trying to get through, but Martin Nesbitt had come up the racetrack, and in the smoke, bang, nowhere to go. Bad deal for Woody Howard.
Kilcare Speedway, and now the red is being displayed not only to clean up the mess over in turn 2, but a slight drizzle starting to come down. Steven is with Sam Fallone.
Boy, this thing's a mess out here. And we had a lot of yellows today. Talk about how bad traffic was and tell me about your incident.
Well, the lap cars are just really in the way out there. We were trying to run hard. We made a pit stop. We're trying to run hard to stay on the lead lap, and the 88 just kind of got impatient with the lap car, and I think he just got down in there a little too hot, and I don't know, they got together. I had nowhere to go. I tried to go to the outside, and I just got stuffed right in the wall, but looks like our day's done, and this car's got to go on jig, so it's not too good of a day for us today.
Remember the bump and move just before halfway? Well, there's 1 lap left to go.
Final lap down the back straightaway. Rumley's got the advantage. Here comes Gordon. Wide move. Exits turn 4. Gordon makes a bid. It's not going to be enough. Johnny Rumley wins it. Gordon in a wild slide. What a finish. Gordon spinning over in turn 2. Wild finish, but Johnny Rumley, your winner of the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by Longhorn, and a car into the water barrel. That looks to be
the 14 car.
Cameron Dodson in trouble. Hard crash down here into the water barrel at the finish. Let's see if we've got a replay on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, what a hit.
That is
Cameron
not a way
Dodson.
to end the day.
And here's the second place, Benny Gordon. Got the car loose, trying to get down to the inside of Rumley. Chased it all the way through turn 1 and finally went around at turn 2. Great sign, Dodson out of the race car.
And Benny Gordon tried for everything in his word to get it. But hey, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Ask Johnny Rumley.
Well, this is no new trick. Rumley's been to victory lane, and it's great to see some of these veteran drivers. We talk about so much about the rookies, but it's the veterans that get it done here today. Johnny Rumley headed to victory lane, your winner of the Naturally Fresh 250. Wild slide to finish the event for Cameron Dodson, but it's Johnny Rumley with the big paycheck. We're coming back with victory lane in just a moment. Victory lane, and already, more trouble. Spencer around for a second time. With him goes the 39 car. First time starter Doug Hahn out of Whitewater, Wisconsin. The Star Packaging Ford goes for a spin. Both cars spinning in turn 4 once again. This seems to be the most treacherous part of Kilcare Speedway.
Well, when you come around that long backstretch and you're actually going to make it up to the front straightaway, which is kind of straight again, you can get your foot almost to the floor and it will light the rear tires up.
Let's take another look at what brought out this second caution of the night. Jimmy Spencer involved for the second time here in the early going over in turn 4. Looks like Spencer's car got a little bit hot, maybe got into the back of Hahn.
Yeah, a little bit loose right there at that later stage. Oh yeah, Jimmy Spencer up underneath Hahn, just got a little bit loose, trying to get up on the front straightaway. A little bit of
leading in the rookie standings for that Miller Lite Rookie of the Year award in that Low Country Customs Johnny Suzuki Ford. Whoa, Roger Blackstock. Oh, little contact with the left front. Blackstock and that Mopar Performance 4 Sons ATV Dodge goes for a spin, gets it back underway. We stay under green. Take another look at it off of turn 4. It just jams up. It's like Gala right ahead of Blackstock. He tried to check up, and somebody behind Blackstock couldn't get.
He actually drove away from this group that I never thought he could drive away from Benny Gordon. I just didn't think, and it's Benny Gordon involved.
Also, AJ Frank is there. Put Marty Lindley in the middle of it. Vince Finello goes around to the 14 car. Looked like he and Gordon got together. Fifth caution is shown to the field. This is the break that Agnew was looking for. Todd Peck. Looks like that car. There he gets fired up and now pulls away. Benny Gordon pulling away some damage to the left rear quarter panel of that Predator Performance Ford. Had a good run going. He's going to probably have to come to pit road, get that fixed, or at least looked at to make sure nothing's going to come off and possibly getting black flagged later in the event.
Well, the spotter should be able to tell if he's hitting anything. Not very happy with Vince Finello. There must have been a little bit of contact going into the corner. We got a replay. We'll be able to take a look and see just what happened when we went down in turn 1.
Off into the corner went Benny Gordon, and not sure if Gordon came down or what the situation was. Here comes Todd Peck. Whoa, look at this.
Todd Peck hard on the brakes, takes that hard left-hand turn, and then tries to get back out on the racetrack.
Made it an infield road course out of it. Todd Peck gets back underway. Leaders coming to pit road. We'll be back. Back at Kilcare Speedway, a late race spin involving some of your top 10 drivers have opened up the window of opportunity for Jeff Agnew, Gerald Davis, and Gary St. Amant to come to pit road for a much-needed stop and fresh BF Goodrich G-Force traction radials on their race car. Woody Howard, who pitted earlier, picked up 2 right side tires, stays on the racetrack. He's going to become your leader in the 55 car.
Trans Am machines. Oh, well, trouble. Burton in the 2 car has gotten into a tire barrier at one of the corners. And that will bring out, I'm sure, at least a local yellow. We'll see if he can get the car refired. Here's another look at it. Miller and Burton just lost it going into that left-hand turn.
Well, I tell you, on entry, looked like the rear wheel brakes locked up and turned him around.
Burton tried to get the car restarted and in gear, and car number 2 is running back deep in the field, back at 15th at the time of the incident.
Well, he didn't hurt anything, so he's going to get it fired and get it on again.
Should be right at about turn 6 where that happened. There are your leaders moving by. Gentilozzi 4 seconds last time by, and there's trouble. Butch Leitzinger has stuffed Tom Gloy's Chevrolet into a tire barrier. This may bring out the second full course yellow of the day. Now remember, Leitzinger qualified third. He was running 10th after the penalty following his pit stop. And Leitzinger's afternoon looks like it has come to an end, coming out onto one of the straightaways here at Long Beach.
Well, he's got it going backwards, Rick. Well, he's trying to get it going backwards anyway to get out of those tires.
Looks like that's at the head of the backstretch, and Butch is trying to get the car in gear. He's gotten it refired. May have stalled it again now. And so far, no indication that caution is going to appear on the speedway. We've got about 12 minutes of racing remaining, which should put us about 9 laps from the finish. Gentilozzi cuts the lead down inside 7 seconds, but a caution flag is coming out. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Why rent when you can own a steel building from Steel Building Depot?
Back at the Long Beach Street Circuit on Speed Channel, the Trans Am Series season opener, the Johnson Controls 100 on the streets of Long Beach. Alongside Willie T. Ribbs, I'm Rick Benjamin, Calvin Fish, and Brian Till on pit road for us as we get down to the last 8 or so laps, which Leitzinger being talked to by safety crew members. That's why we're under caution. Here's what's happened to Paul Gentilozzi in the last 10 or 15 laps. Gentilozzi making his pit stop. They spilled fuel. Paul was penalized. Started at the back on the restart. He has come flying up through the field. Got to 4th, passing Justin Bell here for 3rd spot. Then moments after that, got by Lou Gelati for 2nd. So Butch Leitzinger brought out the caution by Willie, I would almost think that he might have run out of brakes hitting the tire barrier at that point.
You know, I didn't really see how he got into the tire barrier real good, but I'll tell you, I mean, usually, you got to get into those tires pretty hard to be put out of the race in one of these cars.
Yeah, it's a disappointment. Butch made a one-off start in Trans Am 2 seasons ago, but this is his first ever full-time effort, and he has very high expectations. Talk about Paul Gentilozzi.
Really wanted to make a statement. Oh, Michael Lewis has crunched his Jag. Now, I can't see any damage on it. Michael Lewis trying to get going. I believe this is up in turn 9 at the end of the back stretch. And it seems as though that car is going nowhere. Meanwhile, battle for second continues. The teammates, we've got 3 teammates together there. The only one missing from this equation is Tommy Dreesy. Pruitt, Miller, and Gentilozzi, all 3 Rocket Sports drivers. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Mike Lewis. Here's the replay. And simply locked it all up coming up into turn 9.
That was where Paul was fighting it coming in there, and Lewis got in trouble early in the brake zone.
So indeed, he didn't hit anything.
For the celebrities, the biggest advantage of the day came with the 30-second lead they had over the pros. Heading up the field of pros was Parnelli Jones as his son, PJ Jr. Ryan Wimmer from the China Beach show engaged in a battle of his own with the wall. And then there were only 2, Ricky the Rookie versus Parnelli Jones. And it was Ricky Schroeder who displayed some nifty moves and crossed the finish line first, winning the Toyota Celebrity Grand Prix.
Put in. Thank you very much.
That's James Weaver talking to Pat Smith. Here's the 60 car.
As we can.
We've got a lot going on here at once. That was James Weaver talking to Pat Smith.
It's another one-of-a-kind Can-Am chassis, a Keeler with Ford power. Shane Donnelly, Tim Moser, Chris Wilson, the drivers. Now let's take a look at what happened to the 38 Porsche.
This is through the kink in the infield, under braking now, and he goes around the outside of a car. Whoa! In traffic and just drives off the road. I think he just got in a little hot there.
You saw tire smoke, I believe, from the right rear. Now there's the 60 going around. Shane Donnelly at the controls. And now we're hearing word that there may be fluid down there in turn 1.
Need very distinct words.
Well, 3 is off. Cold tires. Yannick Dalmas was told.
And Jeff Brown, he said, he reminded him, cold tires. You're on cold tires. You're leaving the pits.
I was about to remark, it's interesting to listen to that interchange. Sometimes the crew chief has to be a psychiatrist, a father.
Trying to tell him that he's been off the road, that he has spun.
That's okay, Yannick. Just settle down. Settle down. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
You know, that's exactly what you need from your team manager. But I think he saw. Oh my! Look at that.
Can't tell if they touched.
No, I don't think they touched. But I think he saw Weaver go by him and said, you know what, I got to catch Weaver.
Let's have another angle of that. There's the car coming from the left. That's the Mazda Kudzu.
And you can see James Weaver in the foreground there.
My. So Yannick Damas is on his way. Let's go back to that blown tire. Whoa. Fastest part of the racetrack. The left rear goes down.
Well, at least it didn't go down on the banking. At least he was in a straight line.
That's a Riley and Scott chassis. John Field, Butch Brickell, Rick Sutherland, and Sam Brown sharing the driving. And he's got a long way to go to get to the pits.
And I'm amazed that it didn't do more damage. Usually an exploding tire will completely wipe out that rear deck. And actually, it looked like it was in pretty good shape.
No, I think that the belt of the tire actually is intact. I think the sidewalls blew out because you can still see some black here. And it's when the actual tread of the tire explodes that, yes, it'll blow all the bodywork right off the back of the car.
John Field from Dublin, Ohio, behind the wheel. Now, as we mentioned, now Bill, over at the chicane, we've got a car sideways. He's off the racing line, but he was quite close to it. There is a local yellow. The driver is out of the car. That's the number 72 Chevy Corvette for Tim Banks, Todd Sprinkle, and Jim Chris.
And if the driver is out of the car, and you can see the damage to the rear wing there, and look at the left front suspension on that car. If the driver is out of that car, we are probably going full course yellow.
You see some skid marks on the ground. A moments ago, down in turn 1, we had another spin. Watch that white car coming into the apex. Losing traction, spinning around. It's car number 55, a GT1 Chevy Camaro from Mauro Casadei, Andrea Garbagni, Stefano Bucci, and Francesco Ciani. All Italian drivers in that car. And we have a full course caution. A full caution on the racetrack. So the safety car will be sent out to get the field under control. We'll talk about what it means to the various competitors when we return live to Daytona. Back live at Daytona, and we have had a crash under caution in the tri-oval area on the front stretch. There you see car number 5. One of the Panos machines running 5th overall and leader in the GT1 class, Marty Reed.
A full course yellow had come out. The Panos lifted, and the 16 car with James Weaver did not see him lift. He was right into his rear end and heavy contact, and it looks like there's a damage on the nose of the 16. He's still limping around, but looks like the Panos is out of this one for now.
Oh, there is debris all over the racetrack at the entrance to the tri-oval. There you see the number 16 car.
Yeah, look at the smoke from the back of that car. There's got to be some radiator damage on that car. Yeah, look at the front of that car. There's no way there's not radiator damage on that car.
Do we need to work on the car? Do we need to work on the car? Just going up.
Now they're going to have to replace.
Emotions taking over a little bit out there as well.
Full course yellow, and then they suddenly go.
Let's see what we have of it. There, the contact has already taken place.
And I'll tell you guys, that Panos, I don't think that car is as bad as it looks. I think it's mainly bodywork damage, and if they can get it back, I'm sure they can get it back in. I think Weaver's car is in much worse shape.
That's Andy Wallace sitting in the car. The door is gone.
Now the door's just up, Bob.
Oh yeah,
the door's up. The rear body work is definitely gone, but they will have a body section they can put on there, and I don't think this car's out of the race.
And those doors stay up. They have little hydraulic lifters that hold the doors open, which is actually a pretty good idea.
There's the tail section.
I'm wondering how much the sun might have affected that. The sun is not very low in the sky, but it would be directly in front of the drivers in the tri-oval.
And you know, it's kind of ironic. These two guys were teammates last year. They drove together last year, and that is a little bit ironic. And they've closed the front straight. They're forcing the cars to all drive through the pits while they clean the front straight.
Now, nobody is allowed to pit during that. All of the teams are out there in the pits looking at their car.
Now, Weaver's in a bit of a different situation. Technically, the pits are closed, but his car is damaged. It's disabled. He's permitted to drive that car into his
category. Moments ago, however, this was Dieter Quester headed for turn 1.
And maybe he was trying a little bit too hard. Boy, that is strange. You didn't hear the rear wheels lock up or anything. It wasn't like a mismatched downshift. And I think he had to make a quick decision there not to get into that wall.
Whoops, he throws the belts off, hits our onboard camera. Bill Weber is there.
And Dieter Quester comes down pit road. He's trying to make the stop here. Mark Simo will get into the car, directs him in. You can see the damage to the front of the car. Belts already off, window net up. Quester climbs out. Simo, who is much taller, will slide into that seat and have to make the adjustments. He'll get some help with the belt. They'll make a 4-tire change. They're running on Yokohama tires. They're putting on tires that have been scuffed for 1 or 2 laps. But the big question is the damage to the front of this car. We just talked to Tom Milner, and he told us how well they were running and how well things were going. But obviously that's not the case at this point. The 10 car is the class leader, but they have radiator damage, fluid leaking out beneath the front of the car. Milner gesturing from behind pit wall. Boy, things here, it's a long race, but your luck and your situation could change here in a hurry. And now Simo is going to get out of the car, and they're going to have to assess the damage. So what was going to be a very short stop is now going to be a very long one, guys.
And Bill, when you look at the front of the car, you could see the ducts that were on the right-hand side on our screen as we look, and they appear to be missing here on the left-hand side. And those are the brake cooling ducts that they're looking up. They're trying to find them. They've been jammed up into this suspension area, and that is going to be a major problem. They're going to have to fix that air ducting before they can send this car back out. So that was a lot of damage for a pretty, what looked like, there it is.
There it is, yeah, pop back out. That is a great work by our cameraman there to look at the front of that car. And I'm really surprised as much damage, that we're seeing as much damage on this car.
They have lost second place, and they're in danger of losing third. Well, if they're going to go behind the wall for work, they're going to lose all kinds of positions.
Well, hopefully we can talk with Dieter and find out exactly what happened there. A surprising amount of damage.
And Jeremy, I agree.
We're seeing that car for the first time. And trouble for one of the Porsche House racing machines. That's the 89 of Bruno St. Jacques and Bob Julian and Greg Pootman spinning. They've lost the rear wing off the car, and that will certainly throw you off the racetrack.
That won't help one bit at all. Now, did it get knocked? There it is, lying in the road behind him. Did it just blow off, or did it get knocked off? But whatever it is, it's going to be a slow old trip back to the pits.
Greg Pootman's in the car now for the first time since Daytona, when these 3 drivers teamed up in this automobile. Pootman brings the 89 back on the racetrack. Let's show it to you once again. There you see him going off. Oh, and he knocked it off against the Armco.
On the Armco. Wow. That was that's a pretty lurid place. This is out of the inner loop, down that long right-hander downhill. Pickup corner real quick through there.
Heading toward the boot. When that happened, he could have spun. He did spin in front of some traffic there. And you see Pootman's giving everybody plenty of room. Leaders going by. Pootman's trying to get the 89 car back to pit road. Now this is key because there's a 5-car battle for dominance in Prototype 2 here this weekend. The 89 and the team car from Porsche House, the 88. And there's been a huge wreck on course. The 6 of Ross Bentley, one of the prototype machines, Ross getting out of the car, and one of the GT machines, the 15 automobile, in some serious trouble. The 15 car, Kim Hiskey, is driving that car right now. Now that car with Randy Pobst and Kim Hiskey went to Victory Lane at Phoenix a few weeks ago. Jeff Altenberg from Baltimore driving with Kim Hiskey this weekend. Randy Pobst otherwise occupied. Hiskey in the car. She has tangled heavily with Brent Sherman driving the Miracle Motorsports machine. Ross Bentley started the 6 car.
Boy, I haven't seen a car that messed up for a long time.
Brent Sherman from North Barrington, Illinois, the driver. That's Sherman right there in the white uniform. He is out of the car, taking the helmet off. He's okay, but the 6 car looks to be almost a complete write-off. All the bodywork gone off that race car. That incident happening on the course. Caution will come out. It's in the S's, we're told. Course workers leaning in to talk to Kim Hiskey. We'll sort it out for you when we come back. From Archangel there, but we saw the 89 come to grief a little while ago. And speaking of coming to grief, in GT, the 92 machine. Serious problems for the Schultheis racing machine. Ross Bluestein from Weston, Florida, has hit something hard and knocked the front wheels askew on that Porsche.
He has hit something very hard, and he looks to me as if he's still on the racing line. So this is going to be another full course caution. Looking, in fact, at the 21 car that we were just looking at, going around him. So
he's at the inner loop at the end of the backstretch, and he evidently plastered the Armco barrier pretty thoroughly there.
Boy, oh boy, he did. He's obviously okay. We see him moving around inside. Well, we assume he's okay. Certainly his upper body's okay. But whatever he hit very hard.
These Porsche GT3s are very, very stout automobiles, as we saw with Kim Hiskey's wreck just a few moments ago. Take a look at Ross Bluestein here. Down the backstretch, he got out of shape and into the Armco in the middle of the backstretch. Now, he hit the gap in the wall there and threw it right back into the racetrack.
That's what I call very, very unlucky.
Yeah.
Not very many places here where you could actually get into the gap like that.
Yeah.
And he went straight into that gap, straight as an arrow. He obviously tried to outbrake that blue GT car in front of him, misjudged it by the look of things, and took to the grass instead. It was very unfortunate.
So the caution is waving once again here at Watkins Glen. The starter about to put the full course yellow out, it appears. Take another look at it. He has spun here. A lap ago, he went off the racetrack and into the dirt. I'm wondering, David, if he might have cut a tire down.
Could have done.
And it was losing air pressure, because the way that car turned hard left into the outside wall in the middle of the backstretch, even if he was trying an out-braking maneuver, I would have thought that it was more likely a parts failure might have caused it, or a tire going down.
That certainly could be the case. We didn't realize he had spun earlier. Very easy to be the case, having braked hard there at the end there. If the tire was already going down, especially the left front, that would just pull him through.
Hard left like that.
Yeah.
So Bluestein's car has stopped at the inner loop. The caution is waving. The 92 car, obviously.
It's Pappas and Jan Magnussen. Look at Max Pappas. Almost hits his teammate. Hard on the brakes down into one.
Had no choice.
He's gone. Diaz is gone. Can you believe it? Whilst in the lead, he has thrown it away. Off to the side of the track, and Pappas inherits the lead.
Unforced error, did it all by himself. Nobody punted him. That was just a mistake. And now that takes him out of the equation. Now it's a big race up front here. And he's stuck on the outside of the racetrack, not being able to get it fired yet, it looks like.
And to add insult to injury, he has been given a drive-through penalty as well for passing the pace car.
Well, I saw that, and I didn't want to say anything, but he jumped on it too soon and got past the pace car before the green came out, so... Well, that's not good.
Look at this. Two of the most high-profile drivers in this field, two of the most experienced guys in this field, and they're battling for the lead. It's Ganassi versus Doran. Both Lexus power plants in this car, but the lead is a Riley chassis. The second is a Doran chassis. Angelelli is packed in behind, but he is not on the lead lap. He is back in 8th. Here's the replay.
Gets in down on the flat, just drives in too deep. Tires are too cold. He used the same brake mark as he had been. Too much speed off the outside. He goes, takes him out of the equation. Of course, he's still not back underway there. Rest of the field goes on safely. Here's another look at it. Just too much speed. He can't get it off the outside. Just couldn't get it turned in.
Luis Diaz, just when he had done so much good, throws it away. This is on board with Pappas.
Yeah, Pappas knows right here he's in trouble. He knows already. And gets clouded with all the debris.
Now Max has to defend. And well, look at this. Angelelli has got past Magnussen, but remember, that's not a position, and we've got another full course caution.
Yeah, and that is probably going to pick that. Now, Angelelli, trying to get a lap back, but that's the lead there you're talking about, and that's the reason for the caution. Young Mr. Diaz off the outside of the road, won't refire. So it's not over yet.
No, not by a long shot.
Oh, big damage to the nose here. Look at all the damage right in there. It's going to be more than just pulled out of the ditch.
Let's get it to the pits. Brian Tell.
Jimmy Morales, you guys, what a great job. The highs are so high and the lows so low. I know standing here watching the car in the lead had to feel good, but how does it feel now after you've seen the mistake that Luis has made?
Well, remember that Luis doesn't have enough experience. He's a new driver. We have pushed him all through his career. We know he has the talent to do it. He has showed that talent. He just needs to get a little bit more experience, and we're going to do it.
And the racing here in this series, especially as competitive as it has gotten, it has to be tremendously exciting, but how difficult is the traffic that we've seen?
Well, so far, everybody have be very honest and don't cut so much through us. But, it's very hard work, especially for a driver that young like Luis, that he just have to have a seat time on the car and be aware and accustomed to this type of racing. But I feel proud of my teammate that he have done an extremely good job, and I feel very proud about all the team effort that we have get from Chip Ganassi.
What a great job to have a teammate like this who, even though he says he's not a little bit angry, you know it's got to break his heart to see that race thrown away. But they'll be back, guys. These strong drivers, strong team, Lee.
Angelelli's got his lap back now. That's out of the way. Here comes Andy Wallace to make it 3.
So 1, 2, and 3, the top 3 in this race are all together now. It is a fair fight.
Saw a little smoke there coming out of one of those cars. It might have just been braking. I know they're demonic in the brake zones this lap.
These two guys could take each other out, and Andy Wallace could say, thanks, boys.
That's exactly right. Here comes Magnussen. Look on the inside. There, blocked there.
There's some hard braking going on here. Pappas versus Magnussen. Wallace just very, very sensibly sitting back and watching what these guys are up to and realizing he is still in with a shot, but Pappas has got problems.
And I think that could be the tire rub. No, I see. I don't think it is. I don't see any mark on the side. It's getting worse.
As he gets into the banking, Magnussen hangs back just a little, and that could be as Chip Ganassi looks on. He's already lost one car. Can he lose another? Both of them while in the lead.
Now, it only smoked on the banking there, so maybe it is tire rub. They definitely got together over there to turn 3. See what it does here.
Let's have a look at the replay. This is where, on the previous lap, Jan Magnussen made that desperado move.
There's the trouble. Get sideways just a little bit. Up the inside, but it's very tight here. It's a hairpin right here. Right there, I think they did, in fact, touch. Angelelli gets by clean. Now, is that enough of a problem to another look here? See that little wiggle just up the back end?
Was there contact at the back there, though?
Here's where it's going to happen right here. Right there. And you know what happened right there? Is Magnussen got into deep and couldn't make the next corner.
Now look at Pappas defends.
Yeah, now we're getting the wide car out.
We're counting down the checkered flag. Magnussen almost contact. Oh, big contact!
Through the dirt we go, side by side.
These guys are driving each other off the road. Pappas and Magnussen, they bash. They continue to bash. Boy, oh boy, we saw the 27 in this last year with David Donahue, but it was Taze at the wheel. Now Magnussen and Pappas are giving it to each other.
Now you got to watch knocking the valve stems off, because they're going to both have flat tires here. And their top speed hitting. That's stupid. That's just a little bit too much. I would think they need a reprimand.
This is going to end in tears, and it has.
Both of them.
Boy, oh boy.
And our man Wallace goes to the lead. That's what they deserve. Both of them deserve to be right where they are.
That was wild stuff on the track.
They need a reprimand there. I'm just telling you, that's just a little too much. That's dangerous at 180 miles an hour to be playing that game.
That is wild racing, and you were riding with Max Pappas when they hit at well over 150 miles an hour. Now Pappas's door is open. We knew there was going to be contact. We knew there was going to be contact in this one, but nothing like that.
And the smartest guy's going to win this race.
Wallace will get the victory that he didn't get at the Rolex 24 if he can just hang in there. He has inherited the lead by these two guys' aggressiveness.
Well, a little is one thing and a lot's another, and they paid the ultimate price for it. Neither of these guys will win today. Plus, they get to go back to their team owners and explain, why did you tear my car up like that?
Boy, oh boy, knowing Chip Ganassi, he is not going to be impressed.
I wouldn't want to go back and see the boss.
Let's have a look at some replays, a succession of replays. This was serious stuff.
Yeah, that is a big monster hit, and it's at the fastest place of the whole racetrack. There's your payback. Take that. Now we're both going off. Neither of us going to win. Let's give it to Andy.
Wow.
Lucky that wasn't a much bigger wreck. Look at this.
Here's the big hit. Here's the big hit. We were right there. You were riding with Max Pappas when we had the onboard shot. And I'm not sure that Magnussen could pull that car up.
Neither of these guys can even start to say this was an accident.
Let's go on board again. Well, you heard that savage replay. Now let's hear from the boss.
Chip, I know you've run cars in just about every class, and we've seen this kind of stuff in cup racing, but you never expect to see it in sports car racing. Any idea what's going on out there?
You know, Max comes on the radio. He says, hey, this guy's destroying our car. What's he doing? What's he doing? I don't know who's driving that 27 car, but the guy thinks it's a weapon, not a car.
Well, you heard it from Chip Ganassi. Let's get down to Calvin Fish.
Well, I'm not brave enough to interview Kevin Durant, but I'll talk to Didier, teammate with Jan Magnussen. Didier, your recent speeds 170 mile an hour plus there. That's some game those boys are playing out there on the front straightaway.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see what happened on the back there. I just saw some smoke, probably the tires touching the bodywork. That's all I saw from straight away. I don't know what happened.
Kevin Durant's reaction, he took his headset and threw it. It went about 50 yards, guys.
Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. That was wild.
And I tell you, when they get done talking to Ganassi, when they get done talking to Kevin Durant, there's going to be another man down there they're going to have to talk to. I guarantee you that.
And guess what? With all of that going on, we have already mentioned the fact that Andy Wallace has inherited the lead. 2 of the new Daytona prototypes in this field. That is, and there is Jan Magnussen acknowledging the crowd. But Kelly Collins is in second and Bert Frizell is in third.
Second caution of the evening is out for, yes, the 77 of Bernie Lamar.
Turn 2, I believe, was the problem.
Yes.
Did I mention it's a little bit slippery over there?
I think you said it could be.
You see 4th on the screen, although he may have gotten a little bit of help by Mr. Jamie McMurray in the 64 car.
And look, somebody's been there before. Backs into the safer barrier.
He got hit pretty hard, too, before he hit the wall hard. Okay, here we got trouble. 33 in the wall hard.
The 0-1 goes around. This is off the turn 4.
What happened there? That was another deal where guys were checking up in front of him, and Hornaday checked up, and he just got clobbered.
Dude, I can't even move. Who checked up? It was whoever was right in front of you stopped for no reason. I mean, nothing was going on.
Net down on Hornaday. Jay Sauter in the 0-1.
Menard just checked up, and the 0-0 of Johnny Sauter just pounded the 33 car of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, he just stopped, and there was nothing going on in front of him.
Watch the 11 car, he's just slowing down.
Here's what happened, guys. The 11 car jumped out of gear.
That's, yeah, it looks like he's having some kind of problems there. But, man, he got hit hard. Then hit the wall harder.
So they work to get Hornaday out of his car. Jay Sauter has driven away under caution once again at Richmond.
Dus is staat spookvellen. Staat spookvellen, jobb 2 tempo, 20 naar bal 2 tempo, 20 naar bal 2 tempo, 20 naar bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra, szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.